Hello, and welcome to a very raw, unedited version of On Air with Myocarditis. I want to talk about my recent heart condition that I posted on Instagram, and I wanted to get a little bit deeper into that. I woke up on December 30th, and I was in a lot of pain, and the pain was moving to my arm, my right arm, and I knew that something wasn't right with my body. Normally, I would have brushed something off like this, but it was so painful that I could barely walk down the stairs, and I ended up sitting on my kitchen floor, and it was my brother. After I made a phone call to the ambulance, my brother was like, "Hang up, we're 2 minutes away from the hospital. I'm going to drive you there." He drove me. I checked into emergency, then was rushed off to, luckily, there was an open spot, and I was able to talk to the check-in person that checked my blood pressure, and it was extremely high. So then they checked me to another nurse, and the other nurse just checked me in, made sure that I had an emergency contact and that everything was all good. And then I went to another nurse who hooked me up to an EKG. If I'm saying that right, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. They literally put some sticky little stuff on me, and were trying to check out my heart and what was going on with it. And then I was moved into just a room where patients were waiting for doctors and stuff, and I was also hooked up to an EKG there and to be monitored as I was waiting for the doctor. And then the late afternoon, I ended up having a doctor come in and check on me, and he told me that my heart was inflamed. I had an inflammation in my heart. And he was telling me all these things that I didn't really understand, all these words and all these symptoms and the names of my two inflammations of my heart. And I will be leaving those in the show notes if you want to know what those two inflammations are, because I just I don't have enough energy and enough brain space to actually explain to you what the names are of those. But I ended up really feeling, I thought that I was just going to leave. I thought that they were just going to say, "Oh, it's an anxiety attack," or it's just a little something that's just no big deal. But I ended up staying there for 2 days for New Year's. I ended up staying New Year's Eve, and I went home New Year's Day, but I stayed there 2 nights. And it was crazy. I really thought that I was going to die. And this morning I woke up and I did some somatic breathing techniques just because I was feeling the pressure of my heart and the pain of it. And I started to release a lot of sadness, and I was crying. I still do want to cry, but I'm trying to keep it together for this podcast. But I think that I'm just coming to the realization that I could have died at 35 years old if I didn't go to the hospital, and I think that I'm just dealing with the traumatic stuff at my heart, and I'm trying to stay really positive and saying affirmations about my health and my life just to be in a better space. I know that this didn't happen to me, it happened for me. I had to slow down. I was going way too fast in life, and I wasn't giving myself enough time to actually breathe or take a break, and that's completely on me. I take everything on because I feel like I have to, and I honestly, it's nobody's fault, or like nobody made me do it. I just did it myself because I've always been this overachiever since my learning disability, and I always feel like I just need to constantly be one step ahead of everything and on top of everything. And if everything isn't done, and everything isn't done by me, then nothing will get done. So I just, I think that it was the universe and Source's way of saying, after I basically told the universe and asked the universe to basically like take it all, take everything. I can't handle it all. Take away like just everything that I've been dealing with. Just I shudder to you. Like I trust you. Do what you have to do. And I think what the universe did with my body was release all that stuff that I was carrying on my back and on my heart and on my chest, and kind of said, you need to slow down because you're moving way too fast. You are expecting these successes to happen because you work yourself constantly and you're not really getting anywhere, but you expect to be this big success, but you don't sit with yourself and don't always take care of yourself. And that's like a part of being successful, is you have to take time out to create and to come back to yourself. And I wasn't doing that. I was just constantly working because I thought that was the only way to be successful and to achieve that money goal, because of the struggles of the financial issues that I've been having for years. And I just felt like I needed to achieve all this financial success and stuff so everything would be easier in life. And I still want that, but I'm realizing that I don't want to die while I'm doing that at 35 years old, because it's not like I've achieved that success, that financial success at all, by working myself into the ground. So there's got to be like a different way of me doing things. And I really don't know how to do that right now, but I am learning how to take care of myself and put myself first, which is really not easy for a person like me that wants to do everything and wants to kind of just take everything on, because that's what I like doing. And I find that when I achieve something, it feels kind of amazing, and I don't want to stop. And I've trained myself so well to kind of not stop. not live in the moment because I literally just feel like if I keep going, then somehow I'm going to manage to get there. And I'm very bad at asking for help. I'm not that good at taking time out for myself just to connect with my body and to be present. I scroll on Instagram just to avoid feeling things. And I know that these are things that I have to kind of face in 2023 because I've been working on a lot of other stuff that has been really helpful, but there's still so much of me as a human being that I still need to work on. And I just know that these things are not helping me because I have to look at myself as not just a human being that needs money to survive and be in that survival mode and be in autopilot all the time. I have to actually sit down with myself and I have to respect my body and I have to just sit in nature and kind of not be so hard on everything that I'm doing because it it isn't it isn't magic. Like you're not gonna somehow work 24/7 and become this multi-millionaire. I think that you have to kind of take time to just relax and recharge. And I wasn't doing that for myself. I was only thinking about the fact that I needed to survive and I needed to make money and I needed to get to a place where I was financially stable and financially free. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I needed to take care of parts of myself that weren't being taken care of. And I needed to stop looking at the outside world and started looking inwards. And I have been doing that. I have been really doing that since my visit in the hospital. I've been really trying to rewrite my brain into thinking that I don't need materialistic things. I need to focus on living, not surviving, but living and enjoying life and just trusting that the universe will take care of me financially and physically and that I don't need somebody else to do that for me. I don't need a partner or a family member to kind of take care of me financially. I know that that's where a lot of this is why I had this heart condition issue because the universe was kind of saying, hey, we've given you all these signs to take care of yourself, but you have been kind of listening, but you've also been really ignoring the fact that you're a person and you have to take care of yourself too. You can't just leave your cup empty and you can't hold on to this stuff on your back and your upper back. You can't carry this stuff on your shoulders and you can't carry this stuff on your chest expecting that you can do it all by yourself. And I've realized that I have been in survival mode for so long and in this like mode where I feel as if I can't seem to stop myself from like going in a circle of just this bad habit of being. And I honestly, I'm really exhausted just from being strong for so long. And I think that's why my heart just kind of said, hey, you've got to slow down. You've got to take care of yourself. You can't die at like 35 years old. You matter, and you can't keep taking on all this stuff and all these things and making your schedule so packed that you don't take time to breathe, and you're such a go-getter, but at the same time, does it really matter if you succeed with all this money and all of these materialistic things and you don't get to enjoy it because you literally ran yourself into the ground? And that's what my realization is that I have to stop kind of running myself into the ground and start asking for help from friends and even some family members, because now I physically can't do that stuff. And it's hard. It's hard to ask for help when you're so independent and you're so used to just wanting to take it all on and wanting to be that person that can do it all and wanting to be that superhuman. But it's not worth it if I literally don't even make it to 40 years old or 50 years old when I'm in so much. It's almost like I lost my way of my spirituality and let my trauma kind of take over because of that survival mode and that feeling of I don't have enough money, I can't take care of myself by myself. I can't take care of even my mom, who I wanted to buy a house for, and it's just those things that you think of when you dream big and you think that you could manifest all this stuff if you work really, really hard. And I work really, really hard, and I never give myself a break, and I never just let myself be because I'm so stressed out that I'm worried about making payments every month to our rent or my cell phone bill or the internet or groceries. Like, these are the things that run through my mind. So then I start to get into a place where I feel like I need to overcompensate and work really, really hard. And I don't mean just work really, really hard. I mean, like, overdo everything, like schedule my schedules to the point where I don't have any free time. I don't let myself have free time. I don't let myself just read a book sometimes. I don't let myself just relax because I've let myself believe that if I honestly, if I want to achieve something, then I have to constantly be one step ahead of everybody. And that's because of the belief that I put in myself when I was, let's say, 12 years old, where I had my learning disability and I felt like I needed to overcompensate and kind of push myself to the levels of I have to be like 10 steps ahead of everybody else, because if I don't, like, I'm not going to succeed. So that belief that I placed in my subconscious mind has now been with me since I've been an adult, and it's not working. It's not working for my body. It's not working for me financially. It's not working for me physically, spiritually. It's not working. It's just not working. And trying to rewrite these subconscious thoughts are really difficult because you told yourself something or you heard something and you kind of rolled with it, and you kind of don't know where to kind of stop and go, hey, I don't have to be independent all the time. I can ask friends that are reaching out to me saying, do you want any help? Do you need anything? And I'm starting to do that now, and I'm starting to see that I really have to put my health first in order to take care of everybody else, and that's not easy for anybody, I'm sure. But this heart condition really made me realize that I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought that I was going to die. And even like still the heart inflammation, like I know that I could have died from that too if I just ignored it. And I'm glad that I didn't ignore it. But I'm also really sad because I feel like a part of me, the old version of me, has kind of like died in a sense. And that's really sad too because when you're used to being that person for so long, you don't know how to say goodbye to that person in order to be a better person. And I just wanted to really get deep into this podcast episode because I did post something on my Facebook and on my Instagram about my heart condition, and I felt like I needed to say this to people that are going through something like this, not to ignore their bodies. If you think that you're having a heart attack or a stroke, you should not ignore it. You have to get to the hospital. And I also know that a lot of this is a spiritual awakening in a sense, to stop living in a 3D world and start living in a 5D world. And the universe has kind of had to hit me like a bus in order for me to realize that I can't keep thinking of myself as a 3D human being. I have to think of myself as a 5D human being, and I kind of have to learn how to navigate in both the 3D and the 5D world in order to better myself and to make myself into the higher version of myself, which I've been wanting to do for many years. It takes many years of work to realize that you have to do this. You have to kind of go through these stages of life where you have to kill off certain egos and certain personalities and certain habits and certain survival mechanisms in order to survive, in order not to just survive, but in order to better yourself, you have to kill off these certain versions of yourself and kind of make peace with other versions of yourself in order to get out of the pain, out of the trauma, out of the beliefs that you've been telling yourself. And you kind of have to just kind of hug that version of yourself and kind of turn around and be like, I love you for what you gave me, what I needed in that moment, but now I have to leave you behind because I need to be a different version of myself, and I need to figure out how to get to the place that I want to be, and I can't be that person. I can't be the new person if I'm still the old person. So I have to kind of let go of the fact that I'm going to need help. I'm going to need to ask for help. I can't lift things like I used to anymore. I can't do things that I used to do. I can't be like this go-getter, crazy scheduler anymore. Like I have to make sure that I put my health first and foremost in order to live, not just to survive, but to live, and to live a fulfilling, beautiful life that I want to manifest. And in order to do that, I have to kind of step back and say, I can't work these crazy hours anymore. I can't work myself to the bone. I can't do this by myself. I have to ask for help. I might not be where I want to be financially, but I also am not where I want to be physically. And I also have to tell myself affirmations of wellness and know that I'm going to get better, and know that this is just temporary, and this is just a moment in life where my body is releasing something from me in order to get me to the place where I want to be, where I made dream boards and made affirmations and journaled about these things. And it's just my body's way of releasing what I've been carrying in order to get to that new change and get to that new lifestyle that I've been dreaming about for, I'd say, pretty much my entire life, but especially in my 20s and 10 years ago. And I think that I am getting to that place because I am releasing a lot of pain that I've been carrying, and a lot of my past that I've been holding on to, and a lot of grief and things that I wasn't dealing with. And the only way I could do that was to release it from my back and my heart and my lungs and my chest and my shoulders. And just to kind of realize that I am a human living in a 3D world, but I'm also a spiritual being living in a 5D world. And I need to balance those two worlds in order to achieve my dreams. And I need to stop letting the fear hold me back. And I need to kind of put I need to kind of put forward what I want to do, rather than just what I think can get me money, basically, get me paid. And I need to stop, I need to shut out all the noise, and I need to just realize that I need to follow my gut and go towards certain things, but also kind of not schedule myself to the point of going to a hospital for like 2 days. I need to ask for help, and I need to even find to the point where I might need to find interns that can help me with my podcast, because I can't pay them right now. These are the things that I realize that I am awakening up and realizing that I can't run a podcast and a business and have a life and do this all by myself. I can't do this. Like, I can't be everything to everybody. I can try, and I can still take care of the people that I love. I just also need to take care of myself. And I know that this heart condition is a blessing in disguise. It's not a curse. God doesn't hate me. He just wants me to realize that I am worthy of taking breaks. I am worthy of saying no. I am worthy of allowed to be tired. I'm allowed to take naps. I'm allowed to put myself first, as difficult as that is, and still take care of the people that I love and still do the things that I love. I just have to find a way to balance it without killing myself. And that's what I plan on doing in 2023, because I know that I can't keep going like this shark. Like I can't keep going like at this crazy rate, because it's not it, I'm not getting any rewards from it. I don't see my finances getting any better. I don't see my life that I want to manifest coming true. I don't see any of that happening. So why am I killing myself in order to make up the life that I want, and not trusting the fact that the universe has a plan, and source has a plan, and God has a plan for me that maybe I'm not even sure of. I just have to kind of step into the unknown and stop controlling everything and just kind of be like, okay, God, okay, source, okay, universe, just here I am. I'm literally gonna just say, I'm gonna go with the flow now. I, I, I have to trust you. I can't keep pushing this control over you anymore, because all I'm doing is pushing back. All I'm doing is, by forcing myself to work nonstop, and by forcing myself to not be present, and by forcing myself to get in situations where I am sent to a hospital for 2 days. That's me trying to control the situation, and it's not working for me because I don't see any changes happening. So I have to let go of my expectations and the way that I thought life was going to be, and I just kind of have to trust that source and God and the universe will have my back and will give me what I desire, without having to kill myself in order to get there, and without having to just rely on myself. And that sometimes means doing the hard thing, like asking people to help me come to my home and help me downsize while I move, because I'm moving in February. So I have to kind of ask my friends to kind of help me, because I can't move anything. I can't lift anything. I literally could end up in a hospital if I do that. So I have to ask friends to kind of come over and help me kind of get stuff done, because I can't do it by myself. And if any of this resonates with you, that is amazing. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can take it or leave it. I just felt like I needed to kind of spill my truth on this podcast, because I haven't done really a solo episode in a really long time. I took some time off during Christmas and the New Year's break, because I just needed to rest, and especially since I ended up in the hospital, I really needed to put my body first. But I wanted to come out with an episode before an interview that's coming up. I wanted to kind of do a solo episode, because I haven't done one in so long, and especially with what has happened to me so recently, I wanted to share this with everybody, because it's hard to kind of admit to the world that you almost feel like a failure because you're not making 6-7 figures where you thought that you would be, and you're not where you want to be. You haven't published your memoir yet. You've come out with a podcast 3 months ago, and you're so hard on yourself thinking that you should be further ahead. And I just want, I think that this episode is a release for me in a sense of just being honest and raw and just kind of telling my truth. And like I always do in each solo episode, I've always been raw and honest and truthful. But since this happened so recently, I just wanted to kind of let everybody know what was happening during New Year's with me in case you're not on my Instagrams. And I just wanted to kind of update everybody and tell them what's really going on with me and kind of expand on that because, I mean, my podcast is all about honesty and healing and finding new ways of kind of becoming your higher self and making peace with your past and making peace with certain things that you haven't let go of and healing, and also just being okay with the journey and not the destination. So I just wanted to kind of speak my truth. And whether or not you listen to this episode, I really just wanted to say out loud everything that I've been going through because I just wanted to be honest. Like I honestly, I appreciate anybody who is going to listen to this episode, and anybody who doesn't, it doesn't really matter to me anymore. All I want to do is just speak my truth and just tell people what I've been up to and kind of just want it to always be honest with people that do follow me and do kind of respect my work. And with that note, I want to say thank you for listening to On Air with Danielle Gray. Please, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Please leave a like on this post, comment on the bottom of it if you are listening to this on my podcast. Please rate or review. The rating and reviews help me get further along, kind of help other people see my podcast, kind of help them get a bigger reach. So commenting and rating is huge for me. So wherever you are listening to my podcast, please rate or review it because that helps me and helps other people find my podcast. And all I want to do is help other people with whatever they're going through. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, and also check out my Patreon where I have rewards for people that want to get into even deeper with me. There will be rewards like handwritten thank you notes for whoever joined shout out on my podcast, and also so much more. Polls, Q&As, just one-on-one phone calls with me. So if you want to join my Patreon, it will be in the link in the show notes. And I just really want to thank everybody for listening to my podcast, following my podcast, subscribing to my podcast. This is what I want to do, and I want to make my dreams as a public speaker come true. So with all of your support with my podcast, it will help further help people, and that's all I really want to do with my public speaking. So once again, this has been Danielle on air with Danielle Gray, and this has been a solo raw episode about my heart condition. And I will be signing off for now and see you in the next episode. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you resonated with it. But for now, thank you very much, and see you soon.